Hi, I'm Don Miller. Marianne, my wife, and I are on a Tesla Model X journey. We've placed our order for a 100D Model X and are expecting delivery of it in June. I have been interested in EVs for a very long time. When I was a child, I used to drive back and forth to Little League practice in an electric Cushman golf cart-like vehicle. I remember those days very fondly, driving through the various subdivisions from my house to the ball field, and the quietness of the electric golf cart was just wonderful. I bought my first EV in 2008. It's a US electric car, S10 pickup truck. It has 26 lead acid batteries in it, has a range of approximately 40 miles. It currently is not working because it needs a new battery pack, and I decided I didn't want to fool with it. But we've been watching hundreds of Tesla videos, and we've now decided to just go on and get the Model X. We are still currently reserved for a Model 3, and we still do plan to get the Model 3 even though we're getting the Model X. So we're making quite a commitment to Tesla, and we think it's justified. So this video is about our last gas trip. We in April took a family trip on April 10th, which is a Monday, from our home in Fuquay Varina, North Carolina to Carowinds, which is in Charlotte. By Google Maps, it's 182 miles. We left here with about a third of a tank of gas. We stopped in about 30 minutes in Sanford, and we had fast food and tanked up. And then we drove on from Sanford to Interstate 85, stopped at a rest area for a few minutes, and then we drove on to Carowinds. The trip was uneventful in the SUV, just like you would expect it. The return trip was similar. We stopped and ate on the way home, stopped at another rest area, and we got home. And basically the very next day when I went out, I had to stop and take up the SUV. It took approximately 22 gallons of gas, and that was about $52 total. The gas was a little pricey then. It was $2.34. So I said, well, I wonder what that trip would have been like if we had the Model X. So I sit down and I thought about it a little bit, and it appears the best way that we would have handled this is we would have charged up the night before at home to the full 100% state of charge of our 100 kilowatt pack. We would have drove from our home here in Fuquay. We would have stopped at the same fast foods restaurant in Sanford. We would have stopped at the same rest area on I-85 on our way to Charlotte. We would have bypassed the supercharger in Charlotte and went straight on to the park, to Carowinds. We would have stayed at Carowinds in the day like we did, and then when we got back into the car at Carowinds, we would have drove straight to the supercharger, which was 25 miles back to the supercharger, which is right on the side of the road that we would have taken. So going to the supercharger was not really out of our way. It's 1.6 miles off of I-85 in Charlotte. We would have easily been able to eat as the Tesla charged up. We would have got back in the Tesla probably 30 minutes, maybe 40, the typical time you would take us to have eat. Stopped at the same rest area we did in the SUV, and got home at approximately the same time. I feel like the trip would have been identical to the truck, the SUV that we actually were. Comfort would have been the same or even better. The only real difference would have been the cost. The cost of the supercharger would have been approximately $17, and then when we got home, we would have charged up again, and that additional electricity would have cost about $7. So approximately $23 would have been the cost of the trip versus $52. Anyway, we just wanted to do this first video, and we hope to do more. And I should have said welcome to the Tesla parking place, where we hope to soon have our new Tesla. Thanks.